Morning, and welcome to, I don't know, what is it, day 5 of my WSOP trip. Gladiator day 1D, 4th bullet, 4th attempt to make day 2. So far, down 599 because I cashed the first bullet, but including today's entry, it'll be 899. Sounds right, I think. Anyway, feeling good about the way that I played yesterday and the day before and the day before that. Feeling good about all of my play so far. So today we're going to make it happen. Hey everyone, we're back. We're here on the first break of the Gladiators 1D. Myself and James here. I'm going okay. I've got about 40,000. How are you going, James?
I'm up around 50,000, so I'm right there with you, and I'm actually running good today.
Running good, got chips. We're ready to do it in the second session.
Yep, let's see what happens on break 2.
Nice.
Okay, hand breakdown. With the blinds at 100, 200, and a 200 big blind ante, I'm on the big blind with Jack 8 offsuit, under the gun limps, cut off limps, small blind calls, I check. Flop Queen 9-3, so we have a gut shot. The 10 will give us a straight. Small blind checks, I check. Under the gun, bet 600. Cut off folds, small blind calls. I figure call here. If a 10 comes, I can potentially win a decent pot with a disguised hand. I call. Turns another 9. Small blind checks. I check. I'm basically giving up here. There's no need to put any more chips in the pot. But under the gun checks. And the river comes a 10. A nice 10 giving us a straight. Small blind checks. I bet 1300 for value. Under the gun 1 raises to 3,000. Small blind folds. Potentially with more thought here, and I guess just understanding a bit more about this player, I could potentially fold here. I don't see what they're representing by raising there, other than same hand as me, or I ended up calling and they showed me what they had, which was 9-10. Had a small pair, made trips, so they decided to slow play, and then filled up on the river, which gave me the straight. So we lost a somewhat small pot there.
All right, we just hit the second break after level 8. So the blinds will come back to 1,000, 1,500, 1,500 big blind ante. And yeah, have a look at this or these hand breakdowns, and then I'll be back with you.
Okay, with the blinds 300, 600, with a 600 big blind ante, I've got ace-9 of clubs on the cutoff. Folds around to me. I raise to 1,300. Button folds, small blind folds, big blind calls. Flop Queen 9-3, we have middle pair, but there's also potential straight draws, like gut shots there. There's Jack 10, which makes an open-ender, and there's the spade draws. Big blind checks, I bet 1,500, and they call. Turns a 2, they check, I bet 2,200 this time, planning to basically check back the river in any case, as long as they check to me, but they decide to raise here on the 2. At the end of the day here, I think there's just enough draws that I thought there was enough draws. The 2 doesn't really mean much to me. I don't think they would raise a queen, so I decided to call this. River comes another queen, and they bet out for 6,000. Pot 16,000, they bet out for 6,000. I think for a long time and end up calling, and they show Jack 9. So they had the same pair as me, and I'm not sure if they knew if they were bluffing or value betting. With the blinds at 400, 800, and an 800 big blind ante, I've got Queen 10 offsuit on the hijack. Folds to me. I raise to 1,800. Big blind's the only one that calls. Flop is ace 9-3. big blind checks. I continuation bet 1300. They call. Turns a jack, but it's a club. So now I have open-ended. I can hit an 8 or a king for a straight, or a club for a flush. They check, and thinking about this now after the fact, I think probably firing another barrel here is worth it. But in game, I decided to lean towards trying to realize my equity and make the straight or the flush. So I checked. I did make the flush. I made the nut flush, which was nice. They bet 2,000, and I didn't put the stack in here, but they had about 16,000, I believe, between 16,000 and 20,000. So I just went all in, and they folded. With the blinds at 500, 1,000, with a 1,000 big blind ante, I've got pocket aces in the hijack position. Under the gun raises to 7,500, and they have about a 50,000 chip stack, which is quite a huge raise in general. I'd seen this player do something similar previously, and they had a hand that they would call an all-in with. So I decided to go for the headshot with aces and just go all in. And they basically snap called because they had pocket kings, and we held up and doubled up into about 100,000 chip stack.
So yeah, I got 106,000, and a couple of new players come to the table. One has more than me, maybe the other one also does. So we have a few big stacks at the table now. Yeah, so coming out from this break, we'll play 3 more levels and then go on another longer-ish break. So hopefully keep building up, and keep building up to a day 2 kind of stack. Right, so we're on third break. For me, nothing really much happened in that little session. So I had about 100,000. I went up, I went down, I went up, and I finished exactly on 100,000. Hey, I'm back. So just played through the last session. I moved to a new table, and the second hand dealt at that new table. I got pocket eights, and what happened with them can wait for a little moment. Basically, that whole session, I went from 100,000 down to 64,000, pretty much. I got no hands that were playable, and any that were resulted in a small loss. So, yeah, blinds and small losses took me from 100 to 64. So pocket eights, I pushed all in from hijack position with pocket eights, and the button went all in over the top with ace king. Flop had a king on it, turn was an ace, and there was no 8 to save me. So that's 2 eliminations, pocket 7s and pocket 8s against ace king. So yeah, that sucks. But no big deal. There's still plenty more tournaments to play. This is only the first one that I've played. It's had 4 flights, but it's actually the first event. So a few more events to play. I think I have planned 10 total events. And I think I played really well today, especially in the early sessions, and then kind of ran card dead in the later sessions. So, oh well, back at it again tomorrow. Update from James is he had 180k at the last break, and I haven't heard any news yet, so hopefully he's continuing to build and makes it through to the money, and then subsequently day 2 with a big stack. Oh, and I forgot to mention the blinds when I went all in with 64k were 3,000, 6,000, 6,000. So I had 10 blinds, and if the blinds went through me, I would have paid 15,000 which would have left me with 49, which was a bit too little. May still have had fold equity, but I'm not sure. So I think that's pretty much going to be the end of today's vlog. Again, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you've got any comments or questions, drop them down below in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.